Good morning. Welcome to Morning Special. 여러분 안녕하세요. 8월 30일 금요일 최수진의 Morning Special입니다. As of now, Korean culture has become the interest and passion of many people around the world. And we couldn't be more proud as we've become an example, a role model to follow. From music, language and history to food, clothes and technology, the words made in Korea are synonymous with success. Whether it's on clothes, on a stage at a global venue or even in a food truck. 네, 푸드트럭과 자바섬 횡단. 인도네시아 한국 대사관이요. 푸드트럭과 홍보버스를 타고 자바섬 횡단이라는 색다른 시도에 나선다고 합니다. 9월 2일 자카르타에서 출발해서 총 5박 6일 동안 약 1000km를 달리면서 한국과 관련한 다양한 행사를 하기로 했는데요. 일방적으로 한국을 홍보하는 방식이 아니라 현지인들 속으로 들어가서 먹거리와 볼거리를 제공하고 친구를 만든다는 개념으로 준비했다고 밝힌 김창범 인도네시아 대사는요. 시베리아 횡단 열차를 타고 14,000여 킬로미터를 달렸던 경험을 살려 이번 행사를 기획하게 됐다고 합니다. Well, it's probably one of the most effective means to approach the people to infuse our culture among those who matter, the general public. And with that in mind, let me give you today's quiz question. When we present or support something in an active way, we can say we 1번, promote it, 2번, provolone it. And you'll probably know what the answer to this one is. When we present or support something, what do we call it? 오늘도 또 청취자 여러분의 많은 참여 기다리고 있습니다. 퀴즈 정답 보내주신 분들 중에 추첨을 통해서 총 5분께 고칼슘 두유 보내드리겠습니다. 네, 또 여러분의 소식과 소감 그리고 방송 중 궁금한 질문 있으시면 보내주시고요. 짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045 무료 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. Okay, let's kick off today's show with today's global headlines. 세계 각국 언론사들의 어떤 헤드라인이 올라왔는지 살펴보는 시간입니다. Touch Global Headlines.
Concerns are mounting over a huge clash between police and protesters in Hong Kong ahead of a mass rally expected to take place over the weekend.
이번 주말 예고된 홍콩 성환법 반대 시위를 당국이 불허할 것으로 전해져 시위대와 경찰의 더 큰 충돌이 우려되고 있습니다.
At least 7 people have been killed in Morocco after a river burst its banks and flooded a village football pitch.
모로코에서 홍수로 축구 경기장이 물에 잠겨 축구팬 최소 7명이 사망했습니다.
At least 3 people have died amid anti-government protests in the embattled Indonesian province of Papua.
인도네시아 파푸아의 반정부 시위 현장에서 무력 충돌이 벌어져 최소 3명이 사망했습니다.
Seoul has climbed to 8th place on the list of the world's safest cities.
서울이 올해 세계에서 가장 안전한 도시 순위에서 8위를 차지했습니다.
The presidential office of Cheongwha-dae has said that nothing comes before Korea's national interests regarding concerns over the Seoul's decision to terminate 지소미아 could affect the Korea-US alliance.
청와대가 지소미아 종료 결정에 따른 한미 동맹 우려에 대해 아무리 동맹 관계여도 국익 앞에 어떤 것도 우선할 수 없다는 입장을 내놨습니다. And for the headlines and more on this Friday morning is Walter 선생님. Good morning.
Well, good morning to you and a good morning special to all of our listeners and any viewers out there. And my apologies to, I think, at least one of our listeners that I've kind of stolen their phrase, but I liked it so much.
네, 남정현님의 메시지를 그대로 전해주셨습니다. Good morning special to you as well. 시은님이요, 좀 늦은 것 같지만 Good morning 이렇게 보내주셨어요. No, you're not late at all. It's still quite early on in the day. We've just started our show, so thank you for that. And good morning to you too. 최윤식 님이요. Yes, many role models to follow in Korea 하셨어요. This is absolutely true. And Korea itself has become a role model for many countries around the world.
It really has. There's, I think, these days, a very real thing, the Korean dream.
Yeah.
Whereas in the United States, there used to be the American dream, people going for a new life. I think that's very much a thing now here in Korea. People coming from other Southeast Asian countries, looking for new lives and opportunity in Korea.
Yeah, absolutely. 진은경님은요, be an example, 귀감이 되다 이렇게 올려주셨는데, Korea is now a very good example for people and countries around the world, as you just said, to follow. So this is remarkable. 심현수 님이요. 와, 자바섬 횡단 너무 좋은 아이디어네요. 라고 보내주셨습니다. Yeah, imagine, following this food truck and traveling along these islands. Sounds like the best of many different worlds there.
It very much is because, of course, you get to expose your own culture. You get to learn the other culture of perhaps the places you're going, and you get to share delicious food. You get to travel. It really is a win-win-win-win.
그렇습니다. And you know what? Suddenly, this song has come to mind. 갑자기 선생님 옷이랑 제 옷을 보니까 생각나는 노래가 있어요.
Which one?
Ebony
and
Ivory. 갑자기 그 노래가 생각나요.
In
harmony.
harmony.
그 노래
That
갑자기
was
생각나네요.
Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney.
아, 그랬죠. 아, 네. 제가 그 노래를 잘 부르지 못하는데 갑자기 생각이 났어요.
I think there is
흑백이잖아요, 오늘 흑백.
also a song by Michael Jackson, Black and White.
Ah, that's right, yeah. But Ebony and Ivory, for me, it suddenly just came to mind. I don't know what it was. I was like, oh my goodness. And I couldn't get that song out of my head, although I couldn't sing it either. But anyhow, it is a Friday. We like to take things a bit slow and casually on a Friday. I hope you're all well today, everyone tuning in this morning. Thank you. And keep sending in your messages. If you'd like to listen to the headlines again, you can do so by visiting our website. Let's go over those headlines.
Headline number one, and my apologies for the stumble in the opening. Headline number one, concerns are mounting over a huge clash between police and protesters in Hong Kong ahead of a mass rally expected to take place over the weekend.
이번 주말 예고된 홍콩 송환법 반대 시위를 당국이 불허할 것으로 전해져 시위대와 경찰의 더 큰 충돌이 우려되고 있습니다.
So what's happening here, of course, this is coming after the weeks and weeks and now months and months of protests in Hong Kong. And when the protesters are planning these protests, they do need to apply for permission to have a protest, to hold a protest or demonstration. And in this latest incident, the Hong Kong police have banned a planned pro-democracy rally from going ahead on this coming Saturday. The reason for the ban, at least stated from the police side, have been public safety concerns.
Sure.
The organizers, of course, are saying that they're wanting to continue with their demonstrations, but we have seen, especially in recent times, really escalations of the violence there in those protests on both sides.
And we've heard of many casualties. I think at least 7 accounts of casualties from the police side. And so they're saying, we don't want to see any more such cases. And therefore, they are trying to ban this from happening at all. But as you said, based on the sentiment that the protesters have and Hong Kong has been showing around the world, I don't really know if this is going to go down well.
Well, certainly time will tell, but you're right. There's a lot of controversy. There's a lot of expectation, I suppose, on both sides. This protest being denied is somewhat of a rare move. It has happened in a couple of previous cases. The significance, I think, and perhaps this is adding to the scenario, the significance of the upcoming rally was to mark 5 years since Beijing rejected political reforms in Hong Kong, a decision that ultimately sparked the umbrella movement, which itself lasted some 79 days.
Exactly to the day, August 31st, 2014, was when the current head of Hong Kong was elected. And I remember reading stories about this back then as well. The people of Hong Kong, they were sort of protesting, I guess, back then for universal suffrage. A lot of that talk has been ongoing for many, many years. They want direct elections, basically, but that has not happened for many years. And this time around, 5 years on, we will have to see what the response will be tomorrow. But as you said, it's not looking rosy.
Well, it's not indeed, and certainly adding to it is the fact that there have been reports once again of military troops from the Chinese side moving close to or even coming into or changing their positions in Hong Kong. And that latter example has seemingly been the case this time, although the Chinese side is saying that it was routine changing of troops, something that has been going on regularly since they've had a so-called garrison in Hong Kong since 97.
아, 그렇습니다. 내일 이제 시위가 예정이 되어 있었지만 이제 홍콩 당국이 이거를 허용하지 않을 것으로 그렇게 예상이 됩니다. 그렇게 될 경우에는 지금 많은 전문가들과 외신은 더 큰 충돌이 있지 않을까 이렇게 우려를 하고 있는 가운데 중국에서 최근에 이제 수천 명의 경찰들이 훈련을 하는 모습을 공개했어요. 이게 어떤 홍콩에 대한 신호일 수도 있고 위협일 수도 있다라는 분석도 있습니다. 내일 또 어떻게 되는지 지켜봐야겠네요. Let's go on to headline number 2.
At least 7 people have been killed in Morocco after a river burst its banks and flooded a village football pitch.
모로코에서 홍수로 축구 경기장이 물에 잠겨 축구 팬 7명이 사망했습니다.
Well, indeed, the headline here mentioning that at least 7 people have been killed. The victims in those deaths include a 17-year-old boy and 6 elderly men who had been attending this football match. The search and rescue personnel in that region have rescued at least one man who had been injured by the flood, and they are looking for several other people who are still missing. The reports there say that the flood did come rather quickly. However, Morocco's National Weather Service had been issuing warnings of floods because of the stormy rains that day.
네, 그렇습니다. 그 모로코 하면은 이제 북아프리카에 있는 나라죠. 근데 사실은 지금 말씀해 주신 것처럼 많은 비가 올 것이다라는 예보가 있기는 있었어요. 그리고 모로코에서는 또 폭우로 인한 인명피해가 좀 많은 편이라고 합니다. 그럼에도 불구하고 이번에 소식은 굉장히 충격적인데 축구를 보러 간 팬들이 사망을 했기 때문인 것 같습니다. I mean, you never expect these things to happen, especially when you're going to watch your favorite sport event.
Well, indeed, that is the case. But unfortunately, there are sometimes incidents of floods being rather common in Morocco. In July, 15 people died in a landslide that was caused by flash floods. And going back to 2014, flash floods killed around 50 people in the country as well. So you do never expect it, but unfortunately there is somewhat of a precedent there in Morocco.
그러게요. 그 지난 7월 달에 그때 폭우로 인해서 산사태가 발생하고 그로 인한 또 사망 사고가 있었습니다. 그게 생각이 나네요. Well, nonetheless, we do send our condolences. Let's go on to headline number 3.
At least 3 people have died amid anti-government protests in the embattled Indonesian province of Papua.
인도네시아 파푸아의 반정부 시위 현장에서 무력 충돌이 벌어져 최소 3명이 사망했습니다.
And we have sort of reported on this story, but from a different angle. We talked about the journalist who had been applying to the UN for some special considerations there against harassment. And so this is in relation to that.
Right.
And there have been these protests going on since last week. Thousands of people there taking to the streets across this easternmost territory in Indonesia. The protests were believed to have been initially sparked by racist comments made towards Papuan students.
그렇습니다. 외신에 따르면은 이제 한 수백 명이 정부청사 근처에서 반정부 시위를 벌였는데 그러면서 이제 총격전이 벌어졌다고 합니다. 결국은 이제 최소 3명이 사망했다라는 외신 보도 소식이 나왔고요. 파푸아는 이제 파푸아뉴기니에서 왼쪽에 있는 부분이죠. 인도네시아의 일부고 호주보다는 이제 좀 더 북쪽에 있습니다. Tell us more about this.
Well, a spokesperson for Indonesia's national police had said that a riot started when about 150 residents protested in front of a local government office. The protesters were said to be demanding another referendum on whether that region should actually remain a part of Indonesia. According to the police, people then arrived from their side to negotiate with the protesters when they attacked the police with bows and arrows, machetes and spears. However, a local media source is painting somewhat of a different picture, saying that the riots began when the national military and police forces fired shots at the crowd as they attempted to enter the government office.
So completely different stories from both sides there, each blaming the other, as we saw there. 그러니까 이제 시위대는 경찰이 먼저 공격을 했다라고 주장을 하고 있고요. 경찰은 반대로 시위대가 먼저 공격을 했기 때문에 방어를 한 것이다. 이렇게 주장을 하고 있는데 아직 조사는 진행 중이라고 하고요. 정확한 사상자 수도 아직은 확인되지 않았다고 합니다. 지금은 말씀해 주신 대로 최소 3명이 사망했다라는 소식은 있습니다만 이 숫자가 더 올라갈 수도 있다라는 굉장히 안타까운 사실이네요. Okay, and as you said, disputes have been ongoing for quite some time. I believe it's been ongoing for about 5 decades or so.
Well, yes, indeed, there has been the issue there going on for that long. The disputes, of course, do flare up more intensely at times, and this seems to be an example of that. There have been said to be several cases of fatalities here. The police have said that a soldier and a civilian both were killed by arrow attacks, as well as another civilian who had died after being shot in the leg, dying as a result of those injuries.
And a lot of people will actually know Papua New Guinea as a very popular tourist destination site. But like we mentioned earlier on, this island is split into two, and it's the left-hand side that became Indonesian land in 1969, 50 years ago. And the people there are saying, we want to become one country. We do not want to belong to Indonesia. And that has led to all of these riots and clashes for many years.
That indeed is the case. There have been referendums on that very matter, and it's said that this most recent incident was, again, the people calling for another referendum.
네, 그렇습니다. 파푸아뉴기니의 왼쪽에 있는 부분인데 독립을 원하는 것 같습니다. 그래서 이제 1969년에 인도네시아령이 됐죠. 그렇지만 우리는 그냥 인도네시아와 관련이 없는 하나의 섬이 되고 싶다라는 그런 시위대와 그 다음에는 군 당국, 정부 간의 충돌이라고 보면 될 것 같습니다. Let's go on to our next headline.
Headline number 4. Seoul has climbed to 8th place on the list of the world's safest cities.
서울이 올해 세계에서 가장 안전한 도시 순위에서 8위를 차지했습니다.
Well, certainly good news for all of us living here in the Seoul area that it is now 8th on that list of cities, and that is an increase for Seoul from previous lists. The list itself does rank a total of 60 cities in terms of overall safety. However, there are many factors that go into calculating that quote-unquote safety, and some of the factors include infrastructure, health and personal, as well as digital security. And this year, the organization who issues the list, which is the Economist Intelligence Unit, or EIU, they also looked at environmental factors and something that they call urban resilience, which they define as the ability of a city to bounce back from a shock.
Sure. And these reports are issued by the EIU once every 2 years. So compared to the last time this report came out, Korea has gone up the list, I think 6 spots.
Definitely now cracking the top 10 indeed for what I believe is the first time.
Yes, 그렇습니다. EIU, Economist Intelligence Unit는 우리가 잘 알고 있는 그 이코노미스트의 think tank입니다. 근데 여기서 2년에 한 번씩 세계에서 가장 안전한 도시 순위를 발표하는데요. 올해는 이제 서울이 8위를 기록했고요. 그렇다면은 나머지 순위도 궁금합니다. Which city took first place?
Yes, indeed. I think anytime these types of lists are issued, people are always very curious who's at the top, and sometimes also curious who might be at the bottom.
Yeah.
In the top place here was Tokyo, listed as the safest of the 60 cities on the list. And many Asian cities were in the top of that list, as a matter of fact, all three of the top, Tokyo, Singapore, and Osaka being Asian cities. There were just 2 European cities in the top 10, Amsterdam and Copenhagen, which I think it's worth pointing out tied with Seoul for 8th place.
네, 그렇습니다. 이 top 10을 보게 되면은 대부분이 이제 아시아 그리고 뭐 오스트레일리아까지 포함한다면은 대부분의 그런 도시들인데 중간중간 물론 이제 미국도 있고요. 유럽의 도시들도 있습니다. 어쨌든 1위는 이제 도쿄로 나왔고 그 다음에 싱가포르 그리고 오사카 4위는 암스테르담 5위는 시드니 이렇게 발표가 됐습니다. Okay, let's check our final headline.
The presidential office of Cheonghwa-dae has said that nothing comes before Korea's national interests regarding concerns that Seoul's decision to terminate Joseon could affect the Korea-US alliance.
청와대가 지소미아 종료 결정에 따른 한미 동맹 우려에 대해서 아무리 동맹 관계여도 국익 앞에 어떤 것도 우선할 수 없다라는 입장을 내놨습니다.
So this recent reaction from the presidential Blue House does come after something that we've also touched upon on the show, with the U.S. starting to express more directly some of its feelings towards South Korea's decision to pull out of that General Security of Military Information Agreement, or GSOMIA. And the spokesperson from the Defense Ministry said that South Korea and the U.S. have been closely discussing details, and that from their side, that being, of course, the Korean side, they don't think there are any major differences.
Right. And especially when it comes to national security, that's what most people are concerned about. They're saying that if we withdraw from GSOMIA, is that not going to threaten the national security of South Korea? And government officials, according to this report, are saying that is not the case.
Indeed, that spokesperson went on to say that they've said several times that South Korea and the U.S., regardless of the termination of the GSOMIA, will maintain a stable and perfect combined defense posture through close communication.
네, 지소미아가 종료가 되더라도 어떤 국가 안보상의 문제는 없다라는 게 청와대 관계자의 입장이고요. 이렇게 어제 보도가 됐습니다. Those were our headlines for this morning. Let's remind our listeners of the quiz.
I would be happy to do so. Today's quiz asks this question. When we present or support something in an active way, we can say that we blank it. Would that be number 1, we promote it, or number 2, we provolone it?
네, 짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045로 보내주시고요. 무료 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. 제가 아까 고칼슘 두유를 드린다고 잘못 말씀을 드렸습니다만 오늘의 상품은 바로 저자극 순한 비누가 되겠습니다.
And can I also make a quick correction?
Yes.
I would hate to upset any fans of Stevie Wonder. It was Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson who did Black and White. Or Stevie
right.
Wonder and Paul McCartney who did Black and White. It was Say, Say, Say with Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson.
아, 그랬군요. 네. Okay, and of course, regarding one of the headlines, we looked at safest cities in the world. I'm very happy to say Korea is one of the top 10. And yeah, of course, with that in mind, we're going to listen to a song and we will come back with our news focus stories. Okay, this is Sheryl Crow. The first cut is the deepest.